Hi everyone, I'm Becky.
And I'm Sarah.
And we're doing Bickering Book Reviews. Today we're talking about Stolen Time by Danielle Rollins, which I got from, I believe, Edelweiss.
Edelweiss.
So this book is about Ash, who lives in 2077 in New Seattle. He's the pilot for a research team trying to perfect time travel. Ash has spent the last year trying to find the doctor that is overseeing the time travel study who mysteriously disappeared a year before. On a mission back to 1913, Ash discovers Dorothy, a 16-year-old girl trying to run away from an arranged marriage. Dorothy stows away on Ash's ship and finds herself in the world she can never imagined. Dorothy will team up with Ash and his crew to try to find their mentor and possibly save New Seattle.
Okay, this is going to turn into like word vomit. Because I have a problem with the setting. Like, why is it set so close to contemporary times? I mean, 2077, like, that's still in our lifetime. And I think by setting it then and making kind of these assertions about, first female president in 2021, I mean, you're automatically setting this book up to become obsolete very shortly. So it doesn't allow it to kind of stay current. I think if it was a contemporary book, that could have, or like, I don't know. I just think the setting could have been done differently. And then also, I take issue with the fact that the main character's name is Dorothy. So I'm like expecting a Wizard of Oz kind of reference, a Wizard of Oz kind of theme, especially because one of the ships is named Second Star. So you're thinking, okay, maybe it's going to be a Peter Pan, Wizard of Oz mashup. That doesn't happen. I don't know. There were certain like pieces and parts that were just like, they just didn't feel right.
See, the Dorothy thing I didn't even notice because it was 1913. People were named Dorothy. I feel like, though, with science fiction, they do that. They set it more realistically. I mean, we were past the time in Back to the Future. That was 2015. I feel like, and to me, this just feels very much like a science fiction.
I guess.
Because, I like time travel stories. I've read a bunch of time travel stories. I watched time travel movies. And to me, it felt just like a time travel story.
I like time travel stories. However, I don't like the time travel science. I tend to kind of just gloss through it because it just confuses me. My brain doesn't work that way. But no, the setting was just, it wasn't hitting me right in this one for whatever reason.
I think the time travel science, like, basically goes along with most other time travel science, exotic matter and all that.
Okay.
I mean, it's just usually like what it is. My thing was, I had a really hard time, like the first 20%, so the book goes back and forth. It's a third-person narrative, but there's like kind of Ash's perspective and kind of Dorothy's perspective. I had a hard time with the Ash parts for the first 20%.
See, and I had a problem with the professor parts because he had like little blips throughout, and he's like the only adult in this book, right? Like everybody else is essentially a teenager. He sounds like a teenager. He does not sound like an adult.
See, he didn't bother me. I actually was kind of like
he's our age.
He's the only one that had the first person
if not older. Like, he's our age, if not older, and what he's writing in his journal is not, it just didn't feel right.
See, they didn't even notice me. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, it bugged me.
My thing, I don't know, it just felt like, it did feel a little long, but I mean, it's obvious that they're setting up a series. That's
yeah, you can definitely tell this is going to be a series.
Yeah, and then, like, the big surprise ending, I'm like, well, we should have gotten there by now, guys. We shouldn't be surprised.
And why didn't they talk about any of these? So if it's set in 2077, did nothing happen between 2021 and 2077? Like, you're going back to the first man on the moon and all this kind of stuff, but, like, something had to happen in 30 years, right?
Well, I mean, Seattle flooded a couple times. The whole thing. Well, I mean, that's like a big, like, tsunamis and...
right, but what I'm saying is, why aren't they going back to those times to see them? Because they went back in time to see important events in American history, because it was American history. Important events in American history. So then why aren't you going back to kind of important events in those 30 years that you don't talk about?
I don't know. I mean, they just didn't talk about that aspect of it. I don't know. I mean, whatever. I guess just with science fiction, I just don't pull at the threads. I'm just like, okay, this is what it is. Because, I mean, everybody on the crew was from a different time. Because Ash was a World War II pilot. Dorothy was from the 1913. The one doctor was from...
Ancient India.
But was it like before Mesopotamian times? Like, it was like a long time ago. So, and then their security guy was from the 1800s?
That sounds right.
So I don't know, and I thought it was interesting. Like they would go back and like they would try to find this great doctor, and like they would find notice of somebody in history, and then they would also find notice that they just disappeared, and they're like, oh, we need to go get them because we took them as why they disappeared. I thought that because of the whole paradox, but like I said, I like time travel stories. I think if you like time travel stories, I think you'll like this. But I think if you don't like science fiction and time travel and you don't like embrace it fully, it's gonna bug you.
I feel like I like science fiction. I just don't like this book, but maybe I like a different kind of science fiction.
I don't know. So we should rate it.
All right, our rating scale, it goes from 5 unicorns down to 2 unicorns. If we don't like it, it's a horse.
Yes, I'm at a 3.
I'm either at a 2 or a 3. I can't decide. I'll go with a 2 because I did take a couple like major issues with this book. So.
And so that is where we are on Stolen Time. It's Stolen Time. I don't believe there's an S. By Danielle Rollins. I'll see you around.
See ya.
Bye.